Hello everyone, and welcome back to Divinity: Original Sin. We had an unfortunate death last time, but it wasn't terrible. I mean, I did manage to resurrect him, so it's fine. Yeah, Strange went down. I went a little. I played a little carelessly. I risked running him through a fairly toxic area, I guess. So he got poisoned and fired and took a bunch of damage.
Here lies Allegory, the witch. We made an example out of her. Here lies Tom B. Stone. He hated puns to his dying day.
I can see if I were called Tom B. Stone, I would also hate puns.
Here lies Helen. Her eyes could start wars.
Nah, is this the face that launched 1,000 ships?
Here lies Posthumus. He lived as a writer, but rests as an author. Here lies Gordon, the world's finest feline. Here lies Wallenzet, defiler of thoughts.
Okay, but there's some more stuff to be seen, and that's up here. And I know, like, the tombstone things don't work on everyone, but I just...
we are our own judges. This ghostly form
I think this game at least sees itself as the sequel to a game called Divinity. I don't know, or... I'm not certain if it's made by the same people, but the Divine Divinity also had hilarious tombstones, so... I think it's continuing in that
Here lies
tradition.
She herself made sure her coffin was secured.
Go on then, Ed.
Here lies
Speak
Swan.
your pace.
Lucky dice finally failed him.
Listen.
Here lies
Who
repeating
wants to be
Leon.
judged by a panel of stony-faced gods? In Rivalon, we are our own judges.
Yes.
Well, hello there.
Immortal? Aha, well surely I don't have to tell you how much better a life, or death, here in Rivalon is compared to a dreadful eternity in the Hall of Echoes. So why are you ghosts hanging around here? Beats me, we're hardly the only Sicilians lost at sea, but there's some strange magic afoot of late. The dead can't seem to stay that way. We were all aboard a ship headed from Errata to Fair Sicil, but upon our return, the lighthouse failed to shine its light. We were lost upon the rocks and flung far and wide upon the tempestuous waves. And who are you exactly? The name's Ebenezer. Pleased to make your acquaintance. You've probably been meeting some sad souls around here, but I sure as hell ain't one of them. In life, my interests were soft leathers, southern vintages, sun-ripened afternoons, and ample-fleshed companions. Each sense was a source of new and familiar pleasures, and I luxuriated in them all. As a ghost, I admit that many of those pleasures evade me, but Rivalon still smacks of life more than the Hall of Echoes could. Though half the fun of fun is sharing your exploits with an eager ear, you know. Ah, what I'd give to find my little buddy again, the best listener I ever had. Had the pleasure of regaling. Who's your little buddy? The ship that sunk and turned us all into phantoms. She was home to a sweet old tomcat, Oscar by name, who'd curl up cozy as can be on my pillow. We shared many stormy nights while I scratched his chin and whispered stories of my youthful exploits. But I reckon cats don't stay on as ghosts after they pass, cause the little furballs seem nowhere to be seen. That, or the lucky bastard managed to survive the wreck. He was a scrappy old fellow, after all. Okay, so I'll take my leave.
Until we meet again.
There's more to this guy than...
Who wants to be judged by a panel
This was
of
the Rip in
Here
Peace
lies
guy, right?
gods?
repeating
In
Leon.
Rivalon, we are our own judges. This ghostly form is the finest blessing we could hope for. The sights, the sounds, the chaos.
Strange.
To give all this up for oblivion.
Yes, strange indeed. That's my name.
Strange indeed.
Yeah, this guy claims to be so very happy about his undeath,
Go on then,
unlife.
Ed. Speak your pace.
Well, there's more to him. What's the journal actually say? We met a ghost called Ebenezer who's desperately trying to convince his fellow ghosts to stay here rather than seek the Hall of Echoes. What could be his motivation? Yeah, he had a cat on board. Maybe we can find the cat.
Here lies Sayada, world-renowned fortune teller.
Go on
This
then, Ed.
ghostly form is
Go
the
on, please.
finest blessing we could hope for.
Here lies Valius
The
the Mute.
sounds, the chaos. Give all this up for oblivion.
I find this hilarious. I'm
Here
sorry.
lies Ignitus, finally at peace with a life of terrible, terrible choices, just awful.
Is this the church? Yeah,
Strange.
that is okay. Could save some time by teleporting there. I think I've been through all these tombstones, so we can now ascend further and actually enter this church quite soon, I think.
Here lies Montgomery, cat person.
Didn't we also have a dog person somewhere? No, I think we have had a cat person elsewhere. Maybe even it's the exact same guy? No. Oh! Maybe we will find a total of 9 tombstones saying that here lies the guy who's the cat person. Because, 9 lives. Huh. That might be the case. It's a weird filter being popped over the screen there. Okay, that's the church door, which is apparently level 20, but that doesn't mean the enemies inside are, just the door. As you try to enter the church, the statues that flank its heavy oaken doors address you. Hold your horses, stranger. This holy hall may be entered by those who are loyal to the goddess only, and even eyes of stone can see you are no such creature. And who are those loyal to the goddess? Ha! Who are those loyal to the goddess, it asks. They are those who have seen the powers of blood, ignorant one. They partake in the knowledge of old. Blood is life, blood undoes death. Blood undoes death. Such is the wisdom you cannot even conceive. Well, I want to go in anyway. It is a wish we cannot grant unless you prove you have knowledge of the goddess. Answer us therefore the following question. How is she known among the loyal? The exalted one, she who speaks for the goddess. Surely I know. I should probably change over to charm for this if it fails, but anyway. Yeah, let's try charming using strange. Frankly, I find it sad and insulting that mighty eternal spirits such as yourselves must pose such silly questions to pass us by. Yeah. Oh, it worked! We are taken aback by your words, stranger, but we believe you may be right. Go, you may enter the church. Let those loyals find other, less gullible stooges. Okay, I had not expected that to work. He's not very good at convincing people of anything, really, but... And again, I guess sometimes you get lucky. Okay, so... This appears to be Sicil Church. Oh, there's a chandelier. It might be a little early, actually. And here's a hooded man. Ah, Source Hunter. Have you come to lend your blood to our cause? To purify your soul upon our blades? How much lovelier this encounter could be if only it were so. But no. I imagine you'll squirm and screech like a caught pig before you'll surrender your life to our great cause. Your hood is a little angular there, so sort of not really hoodie. Anyway, well, no matter. Soon Master Theleron's quest will be complete. He holds the power of blood, and with the blood the goddess's will shall be done. Personally, I've yet to have the pleasure of bleeding a Source Hunter. But these are monumental moments, and I fear I cannot waste them on you, to arms companions. Okay, so he's running away and we have to find them. Well, fair enough. If you insist. You guys are young cultists. I honestly think instead of buffing, I'll start off with Fireball just because they're so clumped up and it's just an opportunity I can't miss. See? It just did so much. Can move 3 spaces and ricochet still, so yeah. Okay, that's the first one dead already. Pretty good. The burning one might well die from the burn, so I'll stun that guy. Okay, so this one's the one that's least harmed, and she's at half life, so... Wow, that's a lot of action points you had there. But now, take my hammer. My club, rather. Without being hasted, I don't have as many actions, but it's fine. That guy died, that guy's stunned. Hey. Take that. Okay, and you can just shoot the last guy, I guess. Okay. How's everyone doing experience-wise? Because we had some deaths, they're now no longer at sort of equal levels of experience. Oh, it's the Mortician's Hut key. We could now go back, I guess. And a bunch of corpses. Wow, that's... Excuse me. Well, that's kind of evil. Okay, that corpse had no name. You know, this says corpse empty. This one here just says nothing empty. So, I'm going to say that's probably been a glitch that they forgot to just give him a name, I guess. Oh, I was stunned, but now the stunning thing is gone. The stunning water field thing, you know. I guess it can't have been water, it must have been blood or something. I don't know. So yeah, looks like these guys were sacrificed to some kind of cause. Painting of a landscape, we obviously want to activate this. If you remember, 4 switches.
A hidden switch? Perhaps it has something to do with opening that hatch.
Yes, of course it does. We've already learned that from... Can I bash this open? No, I cannot. Okay. There were 4 paintings we heard in the church that we need to activate to...
A switch, much like the first. Could there be more?
Yes, there's going to be 4 in total. As we've learned from the... was it the diary or the letter? I think the the unsent letter to the conduit in Thaleron's secret hut. Okay, this at least can be broken, so we're just fine. And inside we find an old robe. Oh well.
3 down. But how many to go?
As I said, 1 to go. Ah. You know what? Okay, the final one's in here. But we can't get to that because we would need that key. And, there's nowhere to be seen. We need to open this place, basically, and I've searched all the corpses.
The altar won't budge.
There simply has to be some kind of mechanism that operates it.
There we go, church gate key. That might well work. It's called the church gate, so I guess the church gate key is really what we need. Very good. Light gold cup, we can sell those. And they weigh almost nothing, so that's good. Like 80 grams. I'm going to assume that the unit's in kilograms. And an ornate chest containing stuff.
What was that? I heard the sound of scraping in the main hall.
Yes, you heard correctly. Okay, I supposedly need some kind of amulet to get past this barrier though, and I suspect I don't have that yet, so... Somehow doubt I'll be able to progress any further here. Progress, not progress. No, you know what I mean.
Strange magic here. How will we deactivate it?
That cultist must have used some kind of key or spell to get through.
The pedestal is carved with a shallow 6-sided indentation, something fairly small and hexagonal. Hexagonal may fit inside. Oh look, Zombie Jake. What? Wasn't he meant to go back to town? He has Theron who's infected by rot. Okay, I suspect we're not supposed to go in there yet. Oh wait, we have an amulet, don't we? This one, Enlightened Amulet. Can we just, you know, do this?
You fool. How did you expect this to end?
I didn't know of his strength. I thought he'd be a mere shade.
He's the Source King, fool. I suppose you thought you'd intimidate him with your bag of herbs.
Malia, I've failed her again. My darling.
Your wife belongs in the ground. Your failure is her saving grace. Life after death is no life at all.
Okay, let's talk to Zombie Jake. Yeah, I'm glad I remembered that amulet, otherwise I might have spent the rest of the game looking for an amulet. Source Hunter. By the health of the Seven, you are here. There may yet be hope. Perhaps you remember me as a healer, but gods, what a herald of death I have become. Embrace your fate, Necromancer. You failed the conduit, and you've received your just reward. Master Jake is right, Source Hunter. I am beyond your redemption now. But you alone may save Sysil, may save all of Rivellon from the horror I have summoned. King Brachus Rex from the tales of old. He lives. The mad Source King, the Lord of Chaos. I have awakened him. Yeah, what happened? I've done a terrible thing, Source Hunter. I've raised the Mad King from beyond the grave. I imagined so very foolishly that I'd be able to extract an ancient secret from him. But with a simple flash of his arcane magic, I was finished. I have many questions about this guy. I'll tell you all I know, Source Hunter. Okay, what do you mean by awakened? Resurrected, revived. The king lives, but not as the man he once was. He retains the mark of death upon him like a festering wound. Okay, we know who he is or was. Why did you awaken him? Brachus was a dangerous monster, but he achieved things no man or mortal could have dreamed of. He alone is said to have known a great secret. How to break a forge of souls. I promised to extract this secret for a woman calling herself the Conduit. In exchange, she vowed to reveal to me a certain power of her own. In hindsight, I see that I dealt with a devil, and I have received my damnation. So how did you call him? I was given a great stone, a bloodstone, but more charged with life than any I had seen before. The Conduit said it would imbue Brachus with life enough to share the secrets she craved, but what he has become, his powers have all returned, and I cannot stop him. Okay. Was it you who has raised the undead around Sysil? My failures are so many. I can hide them no longer. In my pursuit of the Source King, I've called forth abominations that neither I nor any other can destroy. The ghoul that guards the lighthouse, the Baron of Bones, the twins by fire joined. Killed 2 of those. Their ghastly faces haunt me, and they in turn have rifled through the graves and sarcophagi of Sysil in search of undead minions. Undead Source Hunter, unkillable. I fear this plague may never end, no matter how many times the rotten dead are defeated. Counselor Jake? This is all very strange. Indeed. Isn't it just? You, me, and the good doctor here together at the edge of oblivion. Come on, this isn't the edge of oblivion. We have been to the edge of oblivion at the end of time. That was much more edge of oblivion-y than this place. Anyway, you mean to say that you and Evelyn were working together? Together? Yes and no. We were both of us dedicated to the Conduit's cause, but the fires of jealousy burned hot within that ill-tempered girl, and when the Conduit entrusted me to help her in the King Crab Inn that fateful night I was killed, Evelyn's envy flared. She resurrected me to find out what I knew, the little grasper. She couldn't stand to be left out of the Conduit's inner circle. Evelyn wouldn't rest until she knew exactly what had occurred that night. But that bit of information is between myself and the Conduit, and of course the blasted white witch who stuck her nose into the affair at precisely the wrong time. Okay, looks like there's more to the story then. So why are you here? To see the resurrection of Brachus, of course. With Evelyn dead, praise the goddess, who else could the Conduit trust to keep the good doctor on the proper path? I have proven myself her most loyal servant, after all. Okay, so what did the Conduit have to do with your murder? Only that it was by her order that I was in the King Crab Inn that night. The cause of so much ruin is she, the bringer of ends. Shut up, you old fool. Her holiness is in league with the divine. It is by obeying the Conduit that we obey the goddess herself. Let me ask about that, Conduit. Curse her name, her hell-sent promises. Okay, so who is it? She claims to be a link between her goddess and the world of men. I never believed her divine claims. Blasphemer, heathen, wretch! But I could not deny her great power. It was she who showed me that bloodstone could be used for more than healing. Her stones, particularly powerful and potent, could raise the dead. And we kind of already know what he was promised in return. What could turn any soft soul toward wickedness? My weakness was love, and it was love that she promised me. The conduit had shown me how to raise skeletons and zombies from their graves, but what I craved was something far more rare. A second life, a true second life, for my wife Malia. She was a beautiful soul snatched from the world of the living far before her time. The conduit's promise seemed simple. A secret for a secret. I'd tell her how to break a soul forge, and she'd tell me how to bring Malia back. Okay, I think I'll take my leave. You can defeat the unholiness I have raised, Source Hunter. You can save the countless innocents that will perish under the Source King's mad fist. I pray you can reverse my failures. Though I'll bet Brackus turns you inside out and claims you as his own before you best him. Half living, half rotten, thrall to the mad sorcerer. How will you like that, Source Hunter? I'll await evidence of your failure in town. The earth will run red, the streets cleansed by blood, the conduit's plan made manifest. Enough, you are our last hope, Source Hunter. Soon Brackus and his legion of undead will fly forth from this dungeon and wreak misery upon our realm. I pray, no, I believe, you can stop them.
Ashes to ashes, Source Hunter.
Can I just kill him? He's level 8, and I'm definitely going to try killing him. Oh, he disappeared. Fair enough. So I can't kill him. So Thalaron believed that by unleashing these monsters he'd learn the secret to resurrecting its beloved wife. Love so complete can cloud even the best man's judgment. Really? No. Only a true devil would cause such destruction for a bit of fancy necromancy. Yeah. I'll have them disagree again. Wait, actually no. I'll agree. He'd feed Cecil to the hellhounds in the name of ripping his beloved's soul from the afterlife and trapping it in her mortal corpse. Disgusting. We're vindictive now. It's not particularly nice, but fair enough. Oh. What? Oh, it's a bed. I can sleep on that, apparently. Oh. Yeah, definitely want a quick save as well. I have never been into this church, by the way. This is completely blind to me. Or rather, I am completely blind to it, but... No, there's a resurrect scroll. Brackus Rex, is that you? You're level 9. Oh, I suspect I might have a chance. Let's try. Here now, one who comes to watch the spectacle, to see the Sovereign of the Source ascend again. Or perhaps you are the first in a long new line, the first that will try to stop my dominion, again. Ha ha ha. Oh, by the emerald eyes of the goddess, would you believe that I can still feel it, ever so vaguely, the force of the stab that cleft my heart and sent my soul shivering into death? But my followers have done it. Ha, they have done it like I knew they would. Blood, the thick red gravy, the source of source. Source of source, wow. Has been yielded unto star-sent stones and has swept away the eternal shadows. How long has it been, I wonder, my first repose in death? An hour? The time it takes the seas to tear down cliffs? It is of no matter. I live, and I shall claim my throne anew. Sorry. I am told the reason for your resurrection is a secret you hold. How to break a soul forge. The reason for my resurrection, O simplest of spirits, is that I was destined to be. Were it not for the vainglorious fools that raised me now, it would have been another, perhaps wiser being that would have done so in time. And time is of no matter, only to be, eternally. A woman seeks my secret, for her soul is entwined with another's, yes. Where once they were inseparable, now they have grown apart in purpose and intent, but my secrets are mine to keep. Perhaps when she lies shivering before me, pledging alliance to her new king, I will break her forge before I break her. Yes, you are the fabled Brackus Rex, I presume. A fable I may have become as time dragged on, but in fact I am once more, little one. Don't all of you miserable mortals realize that they who are one with swords have thrown off the burdensome mantle of death forever? I embraced Source. I drank it, made it part of my blood and my being, and so a warlord became a sorcerer, and a sorcerer became a king. The fools of this world dubbed me a tyrant, for the gods convinced them I was such, fearful as they were of my rise in power. Armies amassed, too many. Scores I slew, too few. Death took me, too soon. But not for all time. Okay, I think we've heard enough. Let's finish him. Hopefully. A source hunter, so you are. Though you are so much more, and do not even know it. No matter. They still smelled like you do, by the by, your brother and sister hunters, as they closed in around me that first time. Fear. That most sly, most intangible of scents, drowned out soon afterward by the acid stench of urine. Ha ha ha. I had but to look at them and they rusted that chainmail where they stood. I undid so manifold they had to wade through the gore of the fallen. Oh, what a feast, what fountains of gravy we had. Alas, at last that there were too many, as there clearly are too many of you still. Although, life renewed has made me rather peckish, and from the looks of you, you need but the slightest of squeezes to make you squirt the source's sauce from your soft fleshy shell. Wow. His dialogues are difficult to read for me for some reason. Yes, look at you, plumb as a leech bulging with freshly sucked blood. Oh, I do believe, as my servants would say as they brought in a squirming plump girl on a plate, that dinner is served.
To me, my baron and my horrors, stand by your king!
Oh, look, the ghoul that guards the lighthouse is back, and so is Diedrich, Baron of Bones, and here are the twins joined by fire. Oh dear. I'm going to call it's way too early for this fight. Wow, we're getting wrecked here. Haven't even had a single turn and we're already... Strange is almost dead, Charm is close to death, and the others aren't doing too well either. Yeah. I mean, I'll try and all, but I don't think this will work out. Okay, you're going to do a great heal on Strange. And I guess wait. Yeah, I don't think this will happen now. We are ever so slightly overpowered here. Even beating this guy by himself would be difficult at this stage, so yeah. Okay. Yeah. You know what? I'll do this at a later point when I'm better prepared for it. Maybe a few more level ups. I don't know, maybe I can, Oh, firstly I want you to go to... Old Church, maybe? Guess it's as good a point as any, because I want to do this section here. I think we need to get past it anyway. Yeah, there's not really any better point, I guess. We will deal with Brachus Rex. You have now gotten a taste of what that fight is like, and I have gotten a taste as well. Actually, that was the first time I faced him. I don't know why I didn't do it in my sort of private first playthrough-ish. I guess first attempt at the game. I say playthrough-ish because I didn't finish the game. I just sort of I played it until I somewhat knew the controls and, you know, knew a little bit which spells were good and which were bad and such, just to get a bit of a feel for the game basically. And then I did the LP, so that it's kind of blind, but not as blind as okay, I definitely want to put down a rain. So it's blind in the sense that basically from this point forward I really don't know the story anymore. I've delved a little bit into the next area, but I haven't actually done much questing there. So yeah, it is blind in that sense that I don't know how the story will go, but I do know how the game works, you know. The thing is, I really don't. That's the problem. That is the problem I have with blind playthroughs sometimes. It very often I don't know. It ends up being a case of. Well, that only. Why didn't that rebound more? Anyway, it can so very often end up being a case of someone playing the game for the first time and not knowing at all what he's supposed to do. I don't mind someone not knowing the story. That's fine, and actually can make it much more interesting. But the whole, okay, I don't know which button I have to press to open this door or something along those lines. That's just annoying, I find. So that's why when I do something like this, I would always basically learn the game to some extent before attempting to LP it. Oh, it's 2 kills in 1 turn. That's not bad. And you can actually do some more walking. Cool. He has a lot of AP once he's hastened. Now imagine if I made him a glass cannon. Oh yeah, incidentally, there are some lava surfaces here. They are different from fire surfaces in that they, as you can see, the fire surfaces kind of healed them for 2 or 3 points. So the fire surfaces do a moderate amount of fire damage. You can walk over them, it'll hurt, but you will survive. Lava surfaces insta-kill, basically. That healed him for 2,000-ish. So that's how much. That's probably about how much damage it would have done to us if we'd walked into it. Maybe even more, I don't know, but I think if you have high enough fire absorption, you might be able to tank lava surfaces, but in general, lava is a bad idea. Do not walk into it. It hurts. Okay. I get the feeling that I should change Bear Daughter's bow for this section. Yeah. Hers does fire damage, which just isn't really a good idea. I think these guys are weakened because, either because I've poured water all over them, or just because it's sort of a standard effect they always have in this location, I don't know. Can you lightning this guy? Yes, you can. Charred Bone Archer. Nice, and you got the stun as well, that's cool. Okay, hitting these guys apparently causes a slight fire AoE to burst forth from them, and you are doing a fire arrow, I take it. Well, that failed. That's good. I don't know what governs it, but apparently he just misaimed slightly, or he didn't calculate the terrain correctly, so it hit nothing. That's pretty cool. Let's see if we can knock these guys down. That worked. Okay. Jahan is going to be really useful here because he can do this. And just keep removing all the fire surfaces that the fight creates. It's also pretty useful because he can heal, but removing the fire surfaces is the primary boon, I feel. Okay, but it's definitely been an episode. We did... whoa. Pressed a random button, didn't do anything, that's good. We did definitely see a new boss. We just didn't fight him. Well, we did, but we lost pretty badly. I don't know if I just got unlucky, but that definitely didn't go good at all. These guys have way too much fire AoE. I would need... I suspect I could just try and look for equipment that has high fire resistance and just kind of roll with it. That might work. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the episode, and I guess I'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.